And now a word about no. Such a small word has stopped so many dreams, so much progress, not just because of the word no, but the fact that nobody ever answered a question for the fear of hearing no. Michael Jordan told us that we miss 100% of the shots that we don't take. And it is so true. Seasoned sales professionals know that when they hear the word no, that's when the selling begins. So why in network marketing are we talking about selling and the word no? Because selling, direct selling, network marketing, multi-level marketing, all mean that we are presenting a proposition, an idea, an opportunity, product, services to somebody who's listening to us, and they're either going to go along with us with a resounding yes or no. To me, no means not yet. I used to write that down in my books. I wouldn't write down no, I'd write down not yet. And there are some things we need to learn about what's going on between our ears so that when we meet with people, we look forward to saying, can we do this? Can we get started? Let's get started. So, first of all, we have to understand that no is a response. Almost like when you go into the store and the clerk walks up and asks, can I help you? Even if you need help, you'll probably answer with a, no thanks, I'm just looking. Now, the clerk will more than likely walk away and get on to the next person and never give you another thought until you chase them down because you wanted some help. Although you had the pat answer, as it's called, the pat response of, no thank you, I'm just looking. This is a form of defense, and we'll talk about that a little bit here in a minute. The reason people say no is as a defense because there's not enough information. And there's the fear of making a mistake, and more so, the fear of looking foolish from making a mistake. So when we understand that, understand it's our responsibility through proper conversation, call it qualification if you want, to help people to understand that when we ask them to go forward, it's going to be okay. I won't get into all the details. I could be here for half a day. But what you need to know is that no is a self-defense mechanism. When we ask somebody to make a decision, to take action, the very first response will more than likely be no. Unless we just touched all the bases and done a phenomenal job of building value and ask for the business in such a way that they have to say yes. And that's a little higher level. What we're talking about here is just getting over the fear of hearing the word no. Understand, it's them, but it's our responsibility to help them say yes. And how do we do that? We find out what's important to them. We present how what we offer will give them more of what they want, less of what they don't want, or absolutely zero of what they don't want. They're weighing the value, and the value outweighs the cost to own it. The answer is yes. How do I get started? It's amazing how many people sometimes will interrupt you and ask, well, what do we have to do to get this? Well, what do we have to do to get started? Because we properly qualified in communicating, in conversation, we ask the right questions to get the right answers, and they're weighing the value compared to the cost, time or money. And when the value outweighs the cost, the answer will be yes, let's get started. Sometimes they'll shut the salesperson down. Sometimes they'll shut the network marketer down and say, well, how do we get started with this? Well, what do I have to do? Music to my ears, and it should be music to your ears too. But you have to understand, don't be afraid to ask. Michael Jordan said, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. 100% of the shots you don't take. If we don't ask, the answer is always no. Give them a chance to say yes. Listen to the no is not yet. What did I miss? They're here. They showed up. They sat down with me. They're listening to me. They've spent this time with me because obviously there's some value. What did I miss? See, I'm I'm responsible when they say no, if I'm offering the right solution. Now, not everybody's going to say no, or we would be the king of the world. Our name would be on the side of all the buildings. It would be our name on the dealership. We would be the owner of the network marketing company, and it would probably be a company of one. Everyone we ask says yes. The world just doesn't work that way. So understand, no is not bad, it's good. We used to use a trick. Once upon a time, we'd figure out our numbers. If we know that we have to talk to 10 people to get a yes, and if we know that every time we get a yes, it pays us $1,000, every no then is worth $100. Every person I ask, can we go forward? Can we do this? Every person we ask pays us $100 because the 10th is worth 1,000. And when we look at it that way, we can't get through the no's fast enough. There's a story, I don't know if it's true. I heard it from a person that makes me think it's true. Somebody I highly respect. They brought this sales trainer into this insurance company. They weren't doing all that great. And he said, I can turn this all around for you in one day. Schedule training of all your agents in one day. They get them in an auditorium. They tell them to bring notebooks. Get ready for this. You're going to get the script that will change your life forever. And it did. Here's how the script went. He told everybody, make sure you write this down word for word. And the script was, you don't want to buy life insurance, do you? And they wrote that down. And they went out in the army, hitting door to door, asking everybody, you don't want to buy life insurance, do you? And the results were predictable. 1 out of every 67 people would say yes. 66 people would say no. 1 out of 67 people would say yes. Yes, I do. Where have you been all my life? And they were doing more business than ever before. The big fear, the big resistance there was not the prospects behind the door, but the salesperson approaching the door and asking for the business. And it's just a pure numbers game. And it's the same way for us. In the old days when I would be out there meeting people, I knew how many people I had to talk to, strangers, before I could find somebody who would give me their name and number. And then through the follow-up, I knew how many people I had to call and follow up on to find the one that would say, come on over, or yes, I'll come on over. Yes, sit down and show me what you're doing. And out of those, I had to know how many would start working with me part-time or spare time, or do business with me on a product or service. If you know your numbers, you'll look forward to going through your numbers. It's as simple as that. So, understand, no is a good thing. Selling starts when they say no, because now we're going to find out what's important to them. They're going to let us know. If they say no, we just ask them. Now we can ask them point blank, really, why'd you say no? If you want to soften it up a little bit, obviously you have a reason for saying no. May I ask what it is? Now we can get down to the real reason they're not doing business or taking action with us. So watch this over and over again and understand no is not a bad thing. In most cases, we need to hear the no before we can hear the yes. If they give us an instant yes, good for us. We also know from experience those people that jump on board with an instant yes, they're high on the ether. The emotions are high. And if you're given an opportunity to sit down and think about it, maybe a little later, they may change their mind. It's called buyer's remorse. See, people will make their decisions based on emotion. Most of the decision will be based on emotion, but they need to have a logical justification for pulling the trigger. And that's where we come in. We have to build the value. They have to defend their decision when they talk to their aunt or uncle about it. And if we've given them all the ammunition they know to justify for making a decision, the business should stick. So watch this again, and then watch it again. Figure out your numbers if you're in sales. If you join us in network marketing, you'll want to know your numbers. You'll want to learn your story. You'll want to learn how to ask questions in a way that people will answer truthfully. And then everything they say will be used against them. Didn't you say? If I remember correct, you said this, didn't you? And if I remember correct, didn't you say this? You did say you wanted this, didn't you? And we'll talk about that too in another section. But right now, I just want you to understand that no is a good thing. You want to hear people say no, because that's when selling starts. And that's when you maybe overcome that one little mental objection in their mind that's keeping them from going forward. We'll talk about the difference between an objection and a complaint in another section. Right now, we're talking about how to fall in love with the word no. No is a good thing. Please understand that. No is good. And that's what separates the doers from the don'ts. Too many people will not, because they're afraid of hearing a 2-letter word called no. Get over to the section. I'll put a link in the bottom about communicating, how to ask people the right questions, how to listen, how to feedback to people so they know we're listening, and how to build value to the point where people say, well, what do I have to do to get started? Well, what do I have to do? And then you'll find your business is taking off. If you're not in network marketing now, be sure to check out the Introduction to Network Marketing course that you'll find on this page. And you can always learn more at the Ask Jimmy Johnson Facebook page, as well as the, by invitation only, Ask Jimmy Johnson Facebook group, which is by invitation only, and consider this your invitation. Keep coming back to AskJimmyJohnson.com. Follow us on Facebook, the Facebook page. Learn how to fall in love with no. If you're in sales now or working in network marketing, figure out your numbers. Start keeping track. Find out how many you have to talk to before people say, yes, sign me up. Yes, I want to get started. Yes, I want to give that product. I want to give that subject, that service a try. Find out those numbers. And then you can't talk to people fast enough. I promise you. This is over 37 years of experience that I'm sharing with you. Believe me, I've watched it over and over and over again. And you're just one yes, maybe one no, but certainly one yes for meeting somebody who will change your life forever. And the good news is you'll change their life too.